Now the action shifts to Lulu and Alvin. Before the submersible can dive, there are literally hundreds of systems that must be carefully checked. A minor failure during a dive could force the pilot to abort. A major failure could kill the divers.
Okay, rudder. Coming right. Back amidships.
The claw is Alvin's clumsy substitute for hands. Scrap iron weights help submerge the sub, and when released, allow her to rise again. Underwater cameraman Al Giddings will operate an extraordinary new scientific tool, a breakthrough in electronic photography. It is the prototype of the world's smallest color video camera.
If not, then we got to put something in the other arm and bring it over here.
This will be the first deep water test of the biological gear developed to gather specimens. Before the sub is permitted to dive, final permissions come from the ship's captain, the expedition chief scientist, and the expedition leader.
All ready to go, huh? Good.
Launch the Wayland. Launch the submarine. Launch the submarine.
The crew on this dive, pilot Dudley Foster, biologist Fred Grassley, and cameraman Al Giddings. The cradle descends and the sub floats free. Alvin depends only on her own power for diving and returning again to the surface.
There goes my hero now. Okay.
Her front littered with baskets, instruments, and arms, Alvin almost looks like she needs some re-engineering. But like an orbiting satellite, she has needs more vital than streamlining.
Lulu, Alvin, my surface hydrant light and radio beacon is on, hatch is shut, oxygen's on, blower's running, VQC's on, tracking's on, 8.1, leaks parameters done to normal, no delay in the paradometer, ready to dive, permission to dive, over.
Your launch altitude is 2,500 meters, permission to dive, over.
Roger, diving.
Alvin descends 100 feet per minute, and it will take her an hour and a half to reach the bottom. Inside the titanium sphere, the crew is comfortable under normal atmospheric pressure. Outside, deadly pressure builds quickly. The sun's light grows dim. Below 2,000 feet, the sub enters a region of eternal darkness, where no light penetrates except the luminescence of creatures living there and Alvin's own lights.
Lulu Alvin, my depth 1,000 meters.
In the deep ocean, the temperature near the bottom is uniform and very cold. When the sub is 1.5 miles deep, the total pressure on the sphere is 38,000 tons. A small break would instantly kill the men inside.
Lulu Alvin, I'm on the bottom, depth 2500, neutral trim 1573, temperature is 2.1. You give me a vector to the event, over.
Alvin, this is Lulu. Your target bears 280 degrees, 30 meters, over.
Gliding across the ocean floor at depths few people have experienced, the crew takes pictures through the sub ports.
There's very little cover of the rocks, nothing like the other area we went.
Feather duster worms on the bottom show a vent is close by. These movie films shot by a remote-controlled camera are the deepest ever made of a submersible on the ocean floor. Tube worms appear in the distance. They lead to the heart of the vent area. Now for close-ups, Giddings swings a video camera into position. Alvin's lights reveal a sight no biologist has ever seen before. Fred Grassley has waited 2 years for this moment.
It's fantastic, like nothing else I've ever seen. It really is like another world. Those white ends are the mussel siphons, and what we need to find out is whether the food is bacteria. Oh boy, it's incredible. I have no idea what that worm is. It's something new, I'm sure of that.
What's he find to eat down here?
I think he must be eating clams or crabs. There's certainly a lot of food there for him.
Picture.
Ah, there's the sea spider.
You know, the hard part's going to be figuring out how these animals got here in the first place.
Beautiful animal. It looks as if thin filaments are holding it to the rocks, and it's held up by the gas bags. Gives it that appearance of being suspended in space. I hope we can get it back intact.
A rat-tailed fish, strangely attracted by the sub's lights, slides into view.
These fish are known to feed on animals in the bottom. That little beard under his mouth is used to sense animals, and they can actually push their nose down into the sediment. stir up the bottom, and then they sense the small animals and grab them out of the water with their mouths.
Bringing back specimens for study is crucial, but the submersible's claw is far from a delicate tool.
I really think that the brilliant red color that you see is exactly what it looks like. It's just like blood that a person has.
Mussels by the thousands lie among the crevices. How fast do these animals grow? Only study in the laboratory can provide the answer. A simple minnow cage baited with mackerel traps a basket full of crabs in 2 hours. For the trip to the surface, the whole lot is dropped into an insulated container to protect them from changes in temperature. They are not protected from changes in pressure.
Lulu Alvin, my depth is 2-4.
7-2, we're ready to surface, over.
This is Lulu, Roger. All clear to surface, all clear to surface. Over.
Roger, both weights away.
Okay, Dave, I'm going.
Fire lines!
Recovery is a ticklish business. If Alvin crashes against Lulu, the $5 million sub could be knocked out of commission.
Fire line up! Midships on deck! Fire line up! Ralph! Midship! Midships up! Hold your line!
The cradle rises and the submersible grounds.
Hey, boy!
Dynamite, yeah. That's some really fine stuff.
We just collected everything we could. We got a scraper sample, I think. Right down in the Pogonopera.
Someone want to take these before they get any ideas? You tell them about the poison sea snake? Yeah. Ah!
I hope I get you. I score one for the crabs.
Oh, that water is freezing. This is, right on.
I would say get that into the instant ocean pretty quickly, Ruth. Can you grab this edge now?
The first tube worm.
Well, I'm just going to put these in the instant ocean. Then we'll handle them.
Okay, if you can open it outward, Al. That's a good place to put them. Okay. We can break them free here. Okay. How about that?
Bob Hessler of Scripps Institution of Oceanography.
I used to work on Pogonophorans from the deep sea, and the animals that I would work on were about this long and so narrow you couldn't even see the width unless you were dealing with a microscope. And to be working with these things where you could use a knife and fork and spoon for dissection is just absolutely remarkable. One doesn't do this very often.
For the expedition biologists, the work has only begun, and the work of the Alvin crew never ends. Each night they must work all night if necessary to prepare for the next day's dive.
Refreshed.
20 times the sub descends to the ocean floor, and the studies expand.
Open it up.
There's quite a bit of material in there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, Howard.
From a study of muscle tissue, the biologist can learn whether each vent is a separate island of life, or if life in all the vents is closely related.
I found it in the frame. It's got in there, backed in one of the small holes.
A Galatheid crab, an unexpected bonus for Ruth Turner.
Of course, he couldn't stand the lack of pressure or the warm water, because he's living down there in 2 or 3 degree water. You bring him up here in this warm water, and he can't take it. Or she can't take it. This is a she.
Well, it's yours.
And it allows us to tell us about the rate of reproduction of these by being able to count all these eggs. So we're very delighted to be able to get things in reproductive state. And a lot of them aren't that evident. You have to go inside the animal to figure out what its reproductive state is. Here, they just put it on the outside.
I don't know of any other clam that has this red blood pigment in it.
Carl Berg of Harvard.
All the ones, normal ones, have a clear fluid as for their blood, but these have this red stuff, which we think is hemoglobin, as blood in humans. It's like a piece of beef. It really does, like a piece of liver.
That's amazing.
A little tiny thing on the...
Jim Childress from UC Santa Barbara studies the physiology of mussels and crabs that he keeps alive in refrigerated high-pressure chambers.
And what's the little white thing? I mean, the white thing at the bottom, is that...
Piece of styrofoam out.
Oh, terrific. I'm more interested in the surface of it.
Microbiologist Holger Janisch of Woods Hole collects a sample from a mussel's outer layer to check for bacteria. David Carl of the University of Hawaii collects water samples from the vents. He too checks for bacteria. They suspect that bacteria could be the basic food for creatures on the bottom. Carl Werson of Woods Hole checks the water samples. He and others are testing an extraordinary hypothesis. Every known ecological system in the world depends on photosynthesis. Can these bacteria in the vents be producing food without sunlight by chemosynthesis? All animal life is ultimately based on plant food, which can be thought of as edible energy. In photosynthesis, that energy comes from the sun. Drawing molecules of water, H2O, from the earth, and carbon dioxide, CO2, from the air, plants are able to recombine the hydrogen with carbon and oxygen to make food, organic matter, with oxygen as a byproduct. In chemosynthesis, energy comes from intense heat deep within the earth. This energy is carried upward through fissures in chemical form as hydrogen sulfide. Near the vent opening, where there is free oxygen and carbon dioxide, bacteria oxidize the hydrogen sulfide and use that energy to combine the hydrogen with carbon and oxygen to make food, organic matter. To confirm the hypothesis, Werson must test whether the bacteria from the vents can grow with sulfur compounds as food.
I think these are the dandelions. These things are completely new and exciting to all of us.
Most of the specimens reach the surface intact, but not the dandelion.
Tell me that they don't know what it is either. It might be a part of the dandelions too, but it might be a separate animal also.
How they're sort of tending its lines.
What do you think, Howard?
With only bits and pieces of the dandelion specimens available for study, The scientists turn to the videotape to observe its behavior.
All of the tentacular portion is the portion that forms that fuzzy little ball at the end of the air pocket.
That's what survives.
That's right. But all these little pieces are broken off. They're the things that are loose in the jar. Yeah, for sure.
Okay.
And when it moves, that bit that's towards you, Howard, pulsates.
And now you can see those filaments out from the side, reaching out and curling, and then
That's
coming
right.
back in.
That's right.
What is it?
We don't know.
Siphonophore, huh?
It doesn't
No.
look like a plant.
That's right.
Dandelion.
You geologists were wrong again.
On Lulu, the biological study continues, while on Gillis, geologist Ballard pursues theories that might lead him to the discovery of new vents.
Well, this is where the vent is now, Clambake 1. And I'm just trying to figure out if there's a rhythm to the topography. You look at it, and you see that it looks like there is. And I use that to search for more vents.
If we could cut across the Galapagos Rift and peer inside, we would see that the Earth's rigid crust of continents and ocean floor is very thin. Beneath is a molten interior. The vent area is one point where that molten interior breaks through the crust. It is part of the largest geologic feature in the face of the Earth, the mid-oceanic ridge. 40,000 miles the mid-oceanic ridge stretches. But of it, man has thus far seen only 40 miles. In the crater of a volcano, we can see in miniature the formation of the mid-oceanic ridge. Motions within the Earth force apart its crustal skin. Molten magma periodically erupts into the resulting rift. When lava pours out near the sea surface, tremendous volcanic explosions sometimes occur. In time, submarine seamounts or islands are formed. When lava flows underwater, it behaves differently, at times pouring forth like giant globs of toothpaste, called pillow lava.